that true? Talking of which, Chris Bowles doesn't come here, does he? No, because I might have to beg his indulgence on paying him a day late or something. Because I'm not getting back to London when we've got to pay. So if my friend is late in telling me whether she wants these or not. I mean, I'm good for the money, it's not so fun. I don't want to add to Chris's work. Well,
So I don't envy him.
Promote him and give me a position.
oh, yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Team.
Thank you, Alex.
Well done today. What is it like playing an opponent like Jenson? You haven't played him in a few years. Obviously tricky, not a usual opponent maybe you face on tour. What was it like going up against him?
Yeah, I mean, definitely someone who is very unorthodox. No one plays like him really. So definitely at the start, I knew it'd be difficult. The last couple of matches I played against him, everything went my way, and so I knew he'd be coming out with a really high energy. Obviously, he's really hungry. He's missed a lot of time the last couple of years. So, yeah, I mean, it was a really tough match, and I'm proud of the way, I fought hard in the big moments. It wasn't my cleanest match, but then again, it's a bigger court, tough conditions, and a tough player as well. So, happy.
Questions?
What was I going to say? Oh yes, Djokovic was saying the other day that the conditions on that centre court are so dramatically different from the outside courts. I mean, how difficult was that to adjust to, and just what is that court like?
Yeah, it's definitely a really difficult court to play on, especially if you haven't played on it a lot before. I was definitely, I understand the conditions here in terms of the way the ball travels through the air are quite different. And I accepted, before the tournament that, I might make a few unorthodox errors. Unorthodox, is that the right word? I don't know. Might make a few errors that I don't usually make. And yeah, I definitely felt like out there today, it wasn't my cleanest tennis. There was times in the match where, I wanted to make him play an extra ball, or I wanted to, do better, and I just wasn't able to. But I mean, at the same time, I know that I've got the ability to problem solve, and also, no matter how uncomfortable I'm feeling, I know that they're going to be feeling uncomfortable too. So not perfect tennis, but just a good challenge all round.
Sure.
Physically, how are you feeling? I mean, 2 matches back to back, and all the problems you've had. How do you feel physically now?
Yeah, I feel great. I'm playing doubles this week as well. So, I think by playing doubles as well, that's a sign that I'm in a good spot with my body. I feel strong. I feel like the problems I had are behind me. And I'm looking forward to hopefully being consistent here on out. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with the way I've managed the last couple of months, and coming here as well. I feel really good. So happy with that.
Was it simply
Sorry, he was next.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Congrats. You said that Jenson's unorthodox, no one plays like him. Could you go into a little more detail when you're out there? How does that change you? How does that affect your world, and what do you have to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think he plays, with different varieties of shot. His serve, he can, change the spins and the speeds on every shot, actually, to be fair. Can unleash on the forehand, but then can do angles, especially on the backhand side. Sometimes the ball's not coming through that hard. It's kind of not really bouncing. And I think, he changes the rhythm and the speeds, quite differently to a lot of other players. comes forward pretty well, moves well for a big guy, and also competes really well. So I think just, he has quite a lot of skills and he's very talented. You kind of don't really know what's coming next, and he can, draw you into playing a certain way. And I think that's what happened at the start. I was a bit locked into the way he was playing and playing at his pace, but then in the second set I tried to play more on my terms, and I think I was getting better as the match went on.
I could just ask, he was 33, do you think he can get back to that level?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's still really young, right? I think the results would suggest the last few weeks, he hasn't been playing too long, but I remember being at home a couple of weeks ago and watching him play Tommy Paul. They were having a real battle. Tommy's a top 10 player. And then also this week he's taking down Felix, who's on great form right now, and today as well against myself. I feel like I'm playing a really high level, and it was a real test and a tough match. So I think, he's more than capable of getting back to there, and I'm sure he will do.
In the first few games of the match, Jack, was the slow start because you were adjusting to different weather conditions than you faced last week, or was it just a slow start?
A bit both. I think a little bit opponent. Him just getting used to what he's bringing to the court. I think obviously, that centre court is a real challenge. Is very different. The ball's flying through the air quite fast. Obviously, new balls at the start as well. So there was just a couple of errors that I wouldn't usually make, and I did feel like the first few games, like my energy was a bit flat, and that sometimes happens, and it's up to me to bring more energy and to just try and bring it out of myself. That sometimes happens. I don't always feel 100% energetic and ready for the matches. Sometimes you have to just try and get over that mental hurdle. But yeah, I was really happy with the way I came back from 4-1, and I felt like I had opportunities in those games as well. I think there was 3 deuces to get love 3, so I was playing good tennis. It just wasn't quite going my way.
Well done, Jack. You've done well in the U.S., both at the U.S. Open and also here. So curious if you could compare the 2 playing surfaces, and also if there's anything about the U.S. that gives you an extra push.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it's hot and the ball's bouncing quite high and all those sort of things, I think that helps my game. I feel comfortable on the backhand side, but also on the forehand, by creating a lot of shape on my forehand. The ball bounces quite high and gets up on players. I think also with my serve and the fact that I return pretty well. I don't know. I just think I feel comfortable in all areas on a hard court, and especially with it being a bit lively here in the US. I think that definitely suits my game. What would I say? What was the other question? Sorry.
I think it was just comparing the U.S. Open.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, I heard that they said that the courts here are similar to or they are the same as the US Open. But I mean, I don't think, in my opinion, like the conditions are really different here. The ball's flying through the air. Like for me, it's nothing like the US Open here. So, maybe the court's similar, but definitely the conditions make it very different. And yeah, I know coming here is a bit different to the US Open for sure.
Last question. Yep.
Jack, it could be Taylor Fritz next. I wonder if you could just give your thoughts on the challenges of facing Taylor these days.
Yeah, I mean, again, someone who loves playing in the US. I think he's a champion here before a couple of years ago. Obviously, final of the US Open. One of the best serves on tour. Great off both sides, moves well, competes well. I mean, he's a pretty complete player. Obviously, achieved so much already. So he's got a tough match, I think, today against Tabilo. But I think, if I do play Taylor, we've had a few battles. Every time we've played, it seems like I think it's gone, very, very distant. Maybe the first time we played, I played him it was a couple of sets, but the last few times it's definitely been really, really close. And if I play him, it'll be a really tough match, good battle, and hopefully it'll be some good tennis as well. Thanks, guys. Do you want to just stay here? So.
Is that okay?
Yeah, mate, right. Cheers.